everybody, it's Christine Barger, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I make money as an entertainer. If you're new to my channel, take a moment to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and if you're a subscriber, I wish I could reach through the screen and hug you. Let me just explain how validating it is. When you click the subscribe button, it lets me know that you appreciate my content, and it really is just heartwarming for me, so I appreciate you doing that. All right, I wanted to make a quick video talking about money because someone in my TikTok Q&A asked me if I was rich, and I thought it would be funny to make a video showing one of my 5-cent residual checks. That means I got 5 cents as a check payment for my acting work from a while ago, and I thought, I'll make this video, but then it seemed to get some comments going, and it just started making me think about how people don't really understand how much money or how I make money as a creator, as an entertainer, as an actor, and that people are curious about it. So I thought I would talk about it here just a little bit. So as an actor, I get paid a certain amount for a minimum based around whatever the contract my union has negotiated. So I have a union called SAG-AFTRA that I'm a member of. I pay them dues every year. And I pay them also a percentage toward my dues of what I've made as income. So whatever I make as an actor, I'm also paying out to my union a little bit. And they've negotiated certain rates for different sized roles. So co-star is like, a few lines, what is coming up on Superstore. On March 11th, you can see me on Superstore, and I'll talk more about that in the future. But I had a co-star, so it was just, a couple lines. And then you might see something like iCarly, where I had a guest star, where I worked for like a week and I had a lot more lines and it was a bigger part of the show. And that is a different pay rate than a co-star. So you can look all those rates up on the SAG-AFTRA website if you're super interested in how much actors are making. Understand though that big actors like Tom Cruise or Johnny Depp or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they can kind of set their own rates, and they often work as producers too to get different sort of income coming in. So we're not talking about people like that. We're talking about people like at a level where I am, where I work occasionally and I'm auditioning a lot, trying to get my face out there and get on TV and film more. But I'm not working every day. You're not seeing me I'm on set today every single day. Let's assume people are making around the SAG minimum, maybe plus 10 or plus 20 for to pay out their agents and managers a little bit more. So for me, I get whatever my income is. It comes in a check for the work I've done. I pay out my agent, which generally is 10% for most people. Your manager, I don't have a manager right now, but you'd pay out your manager, which could be 10 or 20%, and then the union, and then taxes. So say you make $1,000 for your day. It sounds like a lot of money. You worked 8 hours, you made $1,000. That's crazy money, right? Except maybe you're only working that one day for the whole month, and you're paying out 50% or more to different places. And then you just need to have that money to pay your rent and pay your bills and eat food and pay for your car payment or your gas or whatever. I mean, that's not that much when you look at it like that. And actors tend to audition a lot more than maybe they work. Not all, but a lot of people who are the people that you see driving the taxi, serving coffee at the coffee shop, all of those types of roles. Those are actors that are, hustling all the time to get work and just haven't had that big break so that they're a huge name, because, there's a lot of big names and their situation is not necessarily the same as someone who's working as a working actor but isn't known as well. So that's kind of a little bit about how that works, that pay structure and everything. And then residuals come in, and my residual for 5 cents is from a show I did a long time ago, and I keep making money off the shows that I've worked on. But people go, well, you just keep making money off of it. That's crazy. Residuals, you're making tons of money. And it's well, 5 cents isn't really going to buy a Tesla, for example. And so there's also taken into consideration the fact that everybody is getting paid out of that same residual money every time something is purchased to re-air. So for iCarly, maybe, Hulu wanted to buy it or something, so they pay Nickelodeon to put it on Hulu. And then, I don't think it is on Hulu, but I'm just saying, for an example, they could be on Hulu, and then they would pay Nickelodeon for those episodes for a certain amount of time, and then they would in turn pass some of that money on to the actors and the people who work on the show in like this, because it was repurchased again by someone else or renewed to be aired on some other area, some other place. And so you can just kind of keep getting money, but it tends to get smaller and smaller most of the time as the years go by. So that is how that works. Also, as a content creator, people go, well, you must be rich because you have almost 1 million fans on TikTok. And I would just want to debunk that myth, because that's not necessarily true either. If you notice, I don't do a lot of brand deals. I do TikTok because I love my fans and I love the community and I love creating my content. But I'm not necessarily doing like tons of brand deals. Like, you don't see Monster energy drinks in every one of my videos, right? So I'm not a person who's monetizing a lot of my brand deals. And I'm also not really promoting merch. I mean, I have merch, but it's not like I promote it. So there's also that, like, merch is a way a content creator can make money. Live streaming and getting a lot of gifts in their live stream is a great way people can make a lot of money, but I also don't live stream very often. So it's not necessarily a good assumption to think that just because someone is a content creator has fans, that they're monetizing that content creation to the fullest extent. As some people do. And I'm sure you can think of people, you probably write them in the comments, people that you know that just constantly selling on their TikTok or their YouTube or whatever. Those creators are probably making a pretty decent amount of money, and you can too. Whether you're a small creator or a large creator, you really can find brands that will want to work with you if you keep looking hard enough, or get the right agent to do it for you or whatever. But don't assume that everybody's doing that just because they make content, because not everybody is doing that. So I just wanted to kind of talk about this concept that, everybody who's a content creator or an actor is just like swimming in their money. My pool of $100 bills out in my backyard of my mansion, that's not the case. If you have any other questions, I feel like in the United States especially, we don't like to talk about money and income. We feel like it's taboo and we shouldn't do it. And I don't think that that's a good way to look at it. Like, you don't know the answers to your questions if you never get your questions answered, if that makes sense. So if you have questions about how you can monetize something or anything like that, feel free to ask me right down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer if I know the answer. And sometimes things are, especially in entertainment, it's a little bit like, well, everybody's path is a little different. But there are some things that are set in stone. Like I said, with the union, if you're working on a union project as an actor, there's a union minimum rate that you have to be paid, depending on the type of project that it is and the type of role that you have. So there are some very specific things, and then there's some kind of general things of like, well, you kind of get what you can negotiate from a brand. Maybe you negotiate $100 for an Instagram post. Maybe you negotiate $10,000. That's kind of up to you and the brand. So some of it's kind of like, well, it's iffy. But anyway, I just think that it's great to have these sort of more open conversations, because we don't do that enough. And I think it leads to misconceptions about how people live their lives and things like that, and what your expectation as a creator or an actor getting into the profession and wanting to do that and thinking, well, I want to do something where I'm going to be rich. Well, maybe this isn't that. Maybe you might look at something that's a little bit more stable ability to make income, like I can't think of anything, but computer programming or being a lawyer or something is probably a good way to have a more set, solid ability to make an income. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have a misconception about those jobs. I don't know, because I don't know a lot of people who do those jobs that talk about income. So anyway, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Go be a light in the world. I'll see you next week.